Hey, how's it going? My name is Zerb Mellish. I am a Dallas-based photographer who specializes in editorial photography, photojournalism, and anything that really involves the camera. High school, first year out of high school, and I wasn't making all that much, but I used half of my paycheck, and I bought this little Canon, what was it, a Canon 60D, and I just started shooting. Started doing street photography. After a while, I really enjoyed it, and it was just something that I found a lot of passion in, just capturing moments and finding geometry, shapes, color, light, and it was just like it was a thrill getting the images back and just seeing what they look like, and seeing if what I saw matched with the pictures. And it was cool because I had like a little community of people that would critique me. I would hit them up, shoot them a picture, and they would be like, "Nah, that's trash. That's terrible," or "That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Keep it up." I think it's really subjective, I don't think there's necessarily a bad picture, but a good picture has emotion, It shows emotion, it tells a story. So telling a story and emotion is probably the two strongest aspects. I mean, you can tell stories through composition, through color, through lighting, but as long as you're telling a story and there's emotion into it, like real human emotion, then I think that you got a good picture, honestly, in my opinion. I try to go for the organic look as much as possible. I mean, I still kind of struggle with really defining my style. Me as the photographer, I'm drawn to certain aspects of a person. Like, if I want to take a picture of you, for example, if I want to take a picture of anybody, there's something I see in myself in that person. I try to be as genuine and real as possible, so what comes off is what I feel in that moment, or what I think should be represented, or what I see. Or sometimes it's as simple as if I look over there and I see the lines that the difference between shadows and light, because it's midday and it's just like this direct line. Sometimes it's just that. Maybe it's just I would just snap that and that'll be it. And that's just like an instinctual thing, It's not necessarily trying to put a style on it, because I feel like we live in a generation where everybody has to have their Instagram style, everybody has to have a specific style. Sometimes it's just like emotion, or you see a composition, or you see a face and you're drawn to that. To put it short, I draw a lot of my inspirations from older photographers, especially Gordon Park. I specifically, maybe it's because I'm African, I have a darker complexion, and I draw inspiration from him because in that time, civil rights, it wasn't very equal. It's still not quite there yet, but as a photographer in his time, he still, he was still very optimistic about people. He empathized with both sides, and I draw to that specifically because I'm always trying to uplift Black people, uplift people who look like me, or make sure that someone who's younger can look up and say, maybe I can be a photographer too. But something about Gordon that I really aspired to be like, or I thought was pretty awesome, that he used his photography as his weapon, but he didn't demean other people, and I just find that really, really inspirational. The fact that he was able to over the course of his career do so many different things, but still keep that human aspect of himself and the people he photographed. The stuff I did for Black Lives Matter, just because during like the heat of it all, there was a lot of raw emotion, and going out every single day, like documenting that, it was really tough. It was really, really tough. And the images that came from there were definitely raw and genuine emotions of the people who were there, and just my own experiences. Systematic racism is real, and it's happening every single day, and some see it more than others. But just hearing those stories and trying my best to compose images that I felt like that would represent those people, specifically those people, not what's being shown on the news, not anything else, but like who was in front of me, what little kid was in front of me, what family was in front of me, what individual who was, you know, tired of what was going on was in front of me. Like, just anything I captured, I still have those images to this day, just saved, you know. I would say film all the way from, it forces you to put constraints on your understanding. Like, whenever you shoot a roll of Portra 400, 35 millimeter, you have 36 shots, and you can't just go around shooting. Like, you're still, you know, drawn to composition specific, you know, or you're drawn to a moment that, or the moment that, you know, catches your attention. You're just like, oh, this is great, this is worth a shot. And so I still have a lot of the negatives from whenever I was younger, and I just think it's awesome. Just the ability to archive your own life, you know, in a physical form and not a digital one. It's just, there's a different feeling. It's the same feeling of when you print your work. As a photographer, you know, everybody talks about how the feeling of when you first print your work, it's nothing like it, man. It's nothing like shooting the image, developing the pictures, scanning the pictures, printing the pictures. When I'm shooting an individual, like those things are always in my mind. Like when I look through the viewfinder, you know, whenever I'm just like, you know, stuck in this one spot, whenever I'm like the rest of the world disappears and I'm just in this rectangle, I usually look for a look in a person's eyes, you know. Something that draws me in most is like emotion on a person's face. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's, you know, I guess melancholy, but again, I mean, composition is still above all, in my opinion. Like, there's always different ways to take a pictures, but composition is above all. But what draws me to a picture or individual versus a street would be the emotion on their face, something about them that inspires me, because I feel like you have to kind of fall in love with whatever you're taking a picture with, not in like the lovey-dovey way, it's kind of not in like a, oh, I'm in love with this person. It's more on the side of, you're drawn to them, you're attracted to whatever you're shooting. There has to be something that like draws me in, you know. But yeah.